How's it going today, guys? Black here, and today we're on Elyon. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about my assassin farming build. Recently I've been looking online for guys to, basically get myself a build to be able to effectively pull with the assassin and kill and clear mobs, since Elyon is very heavily focused on killing mobs and farming and the thing of the sort. But when I went online, there was very little information in the videos that I looked at. They didn't really have the best functionality, I would say. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I typically farm in Elyon, and hopefully it'll help you guys out. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, because I will be hopefully bringing you more Elyon videos. And more importantly, if you have any video ideas for Elyon that you would like to see me or make content about, because I will be playing assassin, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll try to make that happen. Now with that all out of the way, let's get into the build. And I will be sure to have timestamps for each of the components of the build, and at the end I'll showcase to you the build in action. First off, we need to go over the skills, because it's very important to know exactly what skills I'm going to be using for the build. So your primary skill is going to be called Shadow Rainfall. This is going to be your primary way to pull as well as deal damage. Now you're going to have multiple things to help you pull, not just Shadow Rainfall, but this is going to be your primary source of pulling. Now you need to make sure you have the skill upgrade Persuasive Shadow Rainfall, because what this does is give you extra damage, as well as will put 2 Shadow Rainfalls in the area. And that's why this is really good, because it gives you a lot of area of effect to pull a lot of mobs in. Now next you're going to need another pull, and Talon Hook is going to be your secondary pull, because you don't have the same pull as other classes. And I would highly recommend Vampiric Talon Hook, because it gives you some extra sustain. And then your last pull is going to be Dance of Darkness. You kind of need these pulls because you just don't have the area pull like other classes, and this really helps. Now that you have all your offense and your pulls, you're going to need a little bit of defense and control. And Smokescreen is going to be one of your biggest defense, because it makes them inaccurate as well as give you more dodge. And it's just going to be good for you when you're pulling things into massive clumps. No modifier really matters. I mean, you can get this one for extra damage, but Shadows, just making sure you have Smokescreen is very important. Now that you have your defense, I like to have a little bit of control, and that's where Burst Star comes into play, because one, it gives you a evasion frame where you'll jump backwards, since you're going to be pulling them into a crowd. Sometimes you get surrounded. And then I like to have the first modifier on it called Unrelenting Burst Star. It will do extra mines on the ground, and it will slow. Also, the base effect will stun, so it's a really good way of controlling. Now on top of that, I like to use Lightning Cutter, because Lightning Cutter does area damage and it stuns. And if you get the Vampiric upgrade on it, it will give you some type of lifesteal, which sustain is very important to this class. Now that we're done with skills, we're going to go over to the Mana Awakening, because we need to talk about Dance of Darkness and some of the other components of the build. So now in the Mana Awakening tree, you will see that I am spec'd into Destruction. Again, you need that to be able to get the Dance of Darkness skill, so make sure you get that in your Mana Awakening. Now that you have that, your key imprint, you want to pick up Precise. Precise is going to basically help you be a little more accurate. I have a lot of accuracy issues, even now, so getting accuracy is going to help a lot. Agile is good too for extra defense, but in my opinion, you can exchange it for Mental Concentration for more mana sustain, because you're going to be using a lot of mana for this. And then Frugality is absolutely mandatory. If you don't get anything, always get Frugality, because it's going to help your mana stay like semi topped up, because you will see this is a mana heavy build. Now I use defense on this side here. I don't think it's that great at the moment for just farming, so just come over here and just get the destruction stuff and get the extra damage, and you should be pretty good to go. And that's going to be it for the Mana Awakening, and let's go into the runes. Now that we're done with all that, we're going to move on to the rune attributes, starting from left to right. We're going to start with Assault. You're going to get Muscle Enhancement, because it gives you physical, and Shadow Rainfall is a physical ground targeted ability. You're going to get Control Power, because decreasing all your power consumption by 5 goes a long way. Under Control, you want to get Entangle, because it's going to give you some all ground targeted damage is going to increase. And if you have the points, get Trapped, because it's going to give yourself some extra crit hit chance. And you'll see why that's important when we talk about the actual gems in a second. Under Fate, I would get Delightful Harvest because it gives you a good combination of drop rate as well as experience, and since you're going to be farming for both of those things, this is mandatory. I would get Fang for the extra crit because more crit for the build is great. And then under this, I would get Gifted. This helps with evasion. I don't think it matters this one too much. Provisions is probably better, but this doesn't matter. I will say though, in a perfect world, if I had the proper rune slots, I would absolutely get Faded because it's gonna give you 9 at each of these, and 9 of each of these will actually give you such a big power spike. But I don't have enough slots, so Sag. Under support, we're gonna get Amplify Energy because again, more energy for the build is better, so you can actually deal damage. We don't have anything in protection, but it's whatever. And under Awakening, Glass Cannon is pretty good. And if you have another Awakening slot, getting the winning move will help because they'll double the effects. The negative as well, but the negative is hardly noticeable. It's 8%, whatever. You get 16% more damage. So that's all the rune stones. Again, in a perfect world, I would get 33 and get rune energy. But do what you can do, but just make sure you get all the energy related things. So that is the most important. And then the crit, because that's important to the build too. Now, before I go into this next part, you don't necessarily need all these, like the lightning rune and the crit rune, whatever. It helps you deal more damage. You can still absolutely do damage and effectively clear without it. But if you have these things, put them in because it's going to just help clear a little bit better. Now that we're done with all that, we're going to talk about the rune stones within our gear. Again, I put nothing but fate runes because I was trying to get to that fate rune, but I don't have the best runes right now. What's important is to get crit hit effect. I think you get this rune stone in the beginning. Don't quote me on that, but it gives you 100% crit hit on the start of combat. And then get the runestone lightning release. Whenever you crit, it will shoot out lightning balls to 3 nearby enemies and deal 30 power electric damage every 3 seconds. And you'll see in the footage that I'm constantly critting because I got all the crits from my tree, as well as this one giving me a guaranteed crit, and you're going to be doing a lot of lightning damage on top of all your physical damage, and it's just more ways to just clear everything. So that's pretty much it. All the rune stones you need to know for your builds. Again, in the perfect world, don't forget to, if you can get fate rune stones here, just get them. But like, I don't have the best gear, so this will have to do. Accuracy is a minor problem, but again, the build still works even with bad accuracy. Now, with all that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and go to the montage of like the build performing. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.